Alright, so today I'm gonna do the Classic Plus survey. Um, how do I put this? I've played World of Warcraft, all the versions since it came out, um, in November of 2004. Um, my Classic experience is like this. The original game, we beat everything. Um, my dad ran the best guild on the server. I was benched on Saffron because I didn't have the Frost Resist gear, but they went on to be one of the 23 guilds that beat Kel'Thuzad. Um, since then, like I said, I've played every version of it, but my favorite version lately has been Sod, Season of Discovery. People didn't like it, but I thought the runes changing the game up was awesome. Issue with that being, um, there was a lot of problems with the runes. The discovery of some of them was way too easy, some of them was way too hard. And it got to a point where they just let you buy the runes at the beginning. Um, there was some like locked behind like really bad rep grinds and whatnot. So if they do like another season of Discovery, please don't do that. Um, since the classic re-releases, this seems to be what happens. I form a guild with all Radiant Molten Core, and everybody gets bored and quits like halfway through Blackwing Lair. Um, I never really get to see AQ or Nax anymore. Um, but yeah, I've done this 1 to 60 journey more times than I wanted like count between this private servers and the like 3 releases of Classic now. It was like it's about the journey. I'm like I'm kind of tired of doing like I'm kind of sick of doing the journey if that makes any sense. Um, but I figured I'd do the survey to see what. I don't know if this is Blizzard like secretly a Blizzard thing. I think it's just like somebody else put this up. I don't think this is like an official survey, but on the off chance that it's like Blizzard's secret thing, I figured I'd do it. Alright, let's start. Which faction do you usually play? I used to be all for the Horde. Um, however, now I switch between both. I have friends that play on both. Um, I don't know who does this. I don't know who plays it because it's best in slot. Does it even exist in Classic? I mean, I guess like Orc gets resist to stuns and stuff, but that's for PvP. Yeah, I switch between both now. Um, honestly, the Alliance still kind of makes me throw open my mouth a little, but yeah, I got friends that play both, so actually family too. I got family that's play Alliance now, and I'm just like, yikes, buddy, but okay. Which race do you consider your main? Orc. Uh, when I started the game 21 years ago, my first character was the Night Elf because I thought the Night Elves from Warcraft 3 were awesome. But like within like 2 or 3 days, I'm like, I'm going hard, and I've been Orc since. Now on retail, my main is a Mag'har Orc, but that's only because I like being uncorrupted. So, class you consider me warrior always. Um, now here's a fun fact: I wasn't a warrior in Classic. I actually played Holy Paladin to heal in some fights and a mage in Classic. Um, in the original TVC pre-patch, I made a warrior because the guild told me if there's ever a fight that comes up again like Four Horsemen, we need more tanks. And ever since I've been a tank warrior. And if you don't know about the Four Horsemen, it required like 8 geared tanks to do. Obviously now with the classic re-release, I'm sure it doesn't. There's like ways to cheese it, and it dies so quick that it's probably not the case anymore. Um, but yeah, like the week the Burning Crusade pre-patch came out, I made a warrior level that did all the way to 60 and have been warrior ever since. Um, I don't even like know about the other classes up till this day. Like I tried to play other classes and I'm just like I don't understand these buttons or anything. Like I do. I mean, you play this game for 20 years, you kind of pick up what everything does, but like if you're talking about being like an actual professional in the class, it would be a warrior. How old are you? I am 31 to 36. I started playing when I was 10. No, 9, 10, somewhere there. How often do you play WoW a week? A ridiculous amount. I don't even want to tell people my slash played. It's disgusting. Okay, here's the thing. I used to play before work. I had to go to work and stuff. Um, like as a teenager. Instead of going to school, my dad let me stay home and grind gold for him, and then he would like look at my homework and just do it for me. um, it doesn't mean I'm dumb or anything. I learned a lot. Like, I still did my work or whatever, but like, I used to sit on this game 16 hours a day, every day. Not saying you should live like that, but this game was awesome. Uh, OG Gang Gang? Let's not say that ever. Private servers, yes. Season of Mastery? No. Actually, this is the one I skipped because like leveling 35% faster didn't matter to me. Like I think I played it at the beginning, leveled the character to like 30, and then I'm like, it's just the same thing, just a little bit accelerated. Escanor, yes. Uh no, I've played all of them. Every version of this game that's ever been out, I've played. I still play on Warmane Wrath because it's awesome. 2016 classical relaunch, yes. Season of Discovery, and I've never played WoW. Who are you? Why are you in my life? Get out. And if you're gonna be in my life, you need to try this video game. Tank. Well, yeah, tank. I'd press various, but I've never, like, since I was a Holy Paladin in Classic, I don't think I've ever touched healing again. Like, to me, pressing Flash Heal was boring. I heard it's really different in Modern, and it's fun now, but, no, I'm a tank. What region do you play from? NA. NA, baby. Yeah, just NA. I think I have European realm characters, but, like, because my friends wanted to play there for some reason. I think I logged in, leveled with them, like, one time and never went to EU again. Which of the following labels describes you? Used to be Hardcore Raider. Oh, you can pick more than one. I like leveling. I don't like... I wish I could be an Auction House gamer, but I can't. To me, there's too many add-ons that help with it. You should have to actually, like, know what you're doing, but you don't, because there's add-ons, you just go slap it in and it undercuts the next guy. Transmog Hunter, yeah. No point in, like, being cool, like, no point in having good gear if you don't also look cool. Casual, I'm pretty much a casual raider now. The hardcore raider days are done. I just can't anymore. But in my opinion, Mythic is, like, too hard. It's, like, for people who wait for the nerfs or, like, the top guilds. I don't know. PvP, PvP is for absolute nerds. It's cool, it's awesome in Classic, but, like, Modern and every version since Classic? Yeah, I don't like arenas. And Completionist. Like, every version of the game I play, I look at the, achievements and I'm like, someday this is going to be maxed out. How likely are you to play Classic Plus? Yeah, I'm skeptical. Like I said, I don't know if this survey is like them making their own Classic Plus or if this is like secretly Blizzard. Yeah, well, not even how the launch goes. I wouldn't say launch. I wouldn't put the word launch here. I would say like beginning goes. Because all even Blizzard themselves, when they launch something, it doesn't work for like 12 hours. Then they bring it down for maintenance, and then it still doesn't work. And yeah, I wouldn't say launch. I'd say beginning. Extremely simple, but depends on how the beginning goes. I'm talking like the first like 2 weeks. There's like thousands of players running around. You know it's good. If there's like thousands of players, and then on the third week there's like two guys, uh, terrible. Would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, uh, no. Alright, Blizzard, I see what you're doing. You're trying to bait people into saying they're gonna pay, like, to, to play the same game again? Absolutely not. Just like all the other seasons, make this part of my sub. Otherwise, piss off. You're not getting $60 to re-release the same game again. Stop it. Uh, graphics? I mean, me personally, I wish they'd update some of the stuff. But honestly, I'm so in the middle on this. Like, the graphics don't matter. Like, they just don't. It's the gameplay that matters. You play for about 5 minutes and forget if it actually looks good or not. You're like, okay, I'm killing the same Yeti that I've killed like 8 times. Like, I don't know. Modern WoW models, um, same thing. 5, make it a toggle. Like, why can't it just be a toggle? If you like the old dwarf looking retarded, then like fine. If you like the new crisp models, just turn it on. It's like a 5. Monarch. I actually think some of the classic animations are way cooler. Like the human when he jumps with the sword. Like, I don't know. I think this is closer to like I like the classic animations. They're just simpler. Like now when I cast lightning bolt, it's like a whole beam instead of just like one little orb. Like, I don't know. It's like too much. Modern WoW spell effects, same thing. I lean more close to like the classic. Like when I cast like Wrath, he does the thing, and then like one little orb comes. Like it doesn't make your PC melt, and like you kind of can tell what's going on. Modern WoW UI. I'm gonna lean closer to the new. If they could port the edit mode from pretty much midnight, if they could port that edit mode into classic, and then just have all the classic buttons, that would be perfect. I move my map wherever I want. Basically, I shouldn't need add-ons to like move anything in the UI where I want it. Just take edit mode and put it in classic, and don't touch anything else. How would you like Blizzard to handle the server rollout? Many servers at launch, PvP, a condensed server, no. Ew, no mega servers. Yeah, you want it to be the way it was. You want people to pick. I wouldn't go on a PvP realm. I'm not trying to get ganked while I'm trying to tag like a Defias guy or whatever. Uh, like consolidation, like SOD, sure, because you want to see more players in the world, but I think at launch you need more servers, not less. Over time it becomes this, but not at launch. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers resetting every couple of years? Um, the more I play like Warmane and stuff, everybody's gotten like ICC 25 heroic gear, and like it just becomes who can blast stuff on the fastest. Thresh is actually the best part of the game. Who can get the pre-grade? Who can get the best in slot stuff before the release of the next raid? How would you feel about layers in Classic Plus? Oh god, no. Well, how do I put this? In the first, like, 4 weeks, there needs to be layers because it becomes unplayable where, like, there's, like, 1,200 people standing there trying to attack one mob. It's horrible. But over time, they need to reduce the layers. Let's say they start with, like, 32 layers. No, 64 layers. I'm just thinking about how many freaking players there are. Start on the first week, 64 layers. Next week, it's 32. Next week, it's 16. Then it's 8, 4, 2, and then it's gone. It's one layer. That's how I feel about that. That question is rigged. They need an option to, like... They need an option that's in between these. Alright, next. In-game systems. No. 40-man raids, again, I talked about this in my tier list, like, that I did years ago on my channel. 40 people is the freaking unit, okay? The game was built on, in 2004, 2005, that those bosses, they only expected you to really have, like, 20 competent people that could stay online. But now that it works, and you got all 40 people, it's fun to just blast down these bosses, and everybody knows everything about the game. I think 40 is awesome. I think what they could do is add flex mode in, where you could bring 20 to 40. And let's see, you got one guy who's like, grandma fell up the stairs and his cat like bit his Ethernet cord. He can just disconnect, and then the boss just scales to like him being gone. See, I don't want to reduce. It should be 2240. So if you got all 40 guys, you got all 40 guys. Yeah, don't reduce the raid size. Just make it flex. Should Dungeon Funder be implemented? Yes, but group. Yeah, you should still have to travel to the dungeon. Or, as always, class fantasy. You should, if you have a warlock, you can just summon everybody there. That's fine. This is literally modern. They're asking, like, do you want modern or do you want, like... No, you should... It should group you up. It should put you in... And here's another thing. You should have, like, a rating. And it should group you with people, like, in your rating. So, like, if you get, like... If you're, like, an elite guy who just wants to clear, like, BRD in, like, however long... You don't want to sit and, like, explain stuff to people. You just want to blast through it. You should have a rating. And then your rating should be grouped with... Now I could see people, like, cheesing that. Like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of, like, them selling boosts. Like, get your rating up so you don't have to wait. Like, they'd have to implement some way where they can, I don't know, tell that it's you, or use Warden to detect if it's like somebody else logged on your account, or like I don't know how they do that. That's like really insane to implement, but I wish there was a way you could, like, if you're an elitist, you could play with the other elitists, you know? Should summoning stones be implemented? Yes, they're already there. Why would you go take them out? Again, this removes that you need a warlock, but the convenience of having a warlock is you can summon them directly to where you're at. Whereas the summoning stone is outside. Should there be heroic dungeons? Yes. I think we've done this journey too many times. I think people have gotten too used to it. I think there should be mythic dungeons, and that should be Mythic Plus. Here's why. Somebody's used to doing Upper Block or Aspire. But if you've done Upper Block or Aspire, where he's got, like, 6 new mechanics that you've never seen. Like, he puts fire on the ground, or, like, he gives you, like, he throws, like, this thing on the ground. If you stand in it, you get, like, a haste buff. Have we done that yet? No. Make it actually Classic Plus. Would there be rated PvE in Classic? Yes. No leaderboards. I don't want the sweats fighting over this. Prestige levels would be cool. Like, you reset to level 1, but you get, like, rewards when you get back to 60. See the guy running around, like, Prestige 100, like, that guy did 600 levels? Why? 6,000 levels? 100. Yeah, that would be insane, right? Yeah, Mythic Plus. Mage Tower needs to be in the classic game. Again, if you're like somebody who's like a master of a class, you should be able to prove it. I think in classic you couldn't do transmog because there is no transmog, but you could do a title. I mean, the warrior has like everyone's got like a hidden title that never got enabled. Warbringer, of the Legion, for warlock. Archmage for the mages. Like, just make it a title that you earn when you finish your mage tower. So the only thing I don't like in this is leaderboards. I don't care how high the sweats are up on their leaderboard. That's cool for them, but like, who cares? Literally delete this line. Should there be rated PvP in Classic? Of course. Yeah, I won't do it, but I'm fine with the game having it. I think PvP is for absolute nerds. I don't. Okay, I think if you're gonna like sit in Battlegrounds, because now with the no decay on honor, if you're gonna sit there and become a high warlord or grand marshal, you got all that gear. It shouldn't just be good for like PvE or like stopping kids. You should be able to take it and fight against other grand marshals and high warlords. If you're actually that good, or if you just like, are you actually that good, or did you just get a participation award? Did AoE looting be uploaded? Yes. I don't understand the people who like, I want to go loot every corpse. It's been AoE looting longer than it's been non-AoE looting now. However, there is a limitation on this. AoE looting should only be in the open world against stuff that's lower level than you. By 3 levels, and here's why. You're at max level, you're 60. You cheese the hell out of a quest mob. You pull it to some spot, you kill it, and then you kill the monster next to it, and then you loot the head without having to, like, do the challenge of that, right? That's the limitation. It should only AoE loot stuff that's 3 levels and lower than you. So you can do the low-level quests, get your gold, but you cannot just cheese, like, an end-game quest. Chrono Boon is where you save them, right? Yeah, they shouldn't be dispellable. That whole thing was crazy. Purchasable consumables? No. Weaker? No. It's fun when somebody throws up the head. Especially if you're just running around on ult, you don't even know it's, like, coming. You're not that much of a sweat. You're just in Storm and you get the Dragon Slayer buff. And now you're, like, way stronger just because. It doesn't need to be weaker. More varied? No, these two. They just need to be non-dispellable and be able to be saved. You shouldn't lose them if you get them and then want to go raid with that. You should be able to save them and their duration. Like, this is really cool for the speed runs too of all the different raids. Yeah, no, don't make them weaker. Don't vary them. How would you feel if Classicals trim the abilities, add-ons, and weak heroes? Just leave them alone, dude. This is another question that makes me think this secretly might be Blizzard. Because you're doing this in Midnight, you're taking all the stuff away from people. But within like a week, they've already There's a new one called like Sneak Auras that's weak auras. It's just different. Like, stop doing this. Just let people make the add-ons, man. Should mount level requirements be lowered? By 10 levels. I think the regular mount should be at 30, and the epic mount should be at 50. There's no reason you need to be slow riding around Eastern Plaguelands, or not even have a mount in like Thousand Needles. It's stupid. I understand it's not classic, but I think that you need to lower it by 10 levels. I think 30 is fine for the normal one, and 50 is fine for the epic mount. And then every expansion, like if they do all their expansions, keep those how they are, like max flying at 70s, because that was like a feature of Burning Crusade, right? Should flying mounts be up to it? No, not in Classic. Again, if they're ever going to advance to Classic Plus Burning Crusade, yes, because that was a feature of that expansion. Should Guildbank? Yeah, Guildbank should absolutely be in the game. The fact you have to trust a random guy to hold your stuff, and then he might just go off the deep end and sell all your guild shit that they've earned, that's a terrible system. I mean, I guess he could also go off the deep end if he had officer rank, he could just go ninja everything out of there. But at least that Blizzard might be able to like do something about, like reverse it back to the way it was or something. Should Classic Plus have yes. People who don't like achievements confuse me. It's just a thing that shows that you did a thing. Now, here's what I don't want to see. Do not put in ahead of the curve or cutting edge, like, oh, I finished Molten Core before you read at least Blackwing Lair. That is going to encourage the fucking sweats to make you link the thing to get into the... No. Well, then they're like, just check the dates. It's another thing. Take the dates off these fucking things. Have an achievement, but I swear to God, if you put a date on it, that's going to ruin it. Should reputations be streamlined, make easier to level? Some of them. I'm gonna put no, because most of them no. However, there's a couple that I could think of that need to be a little, like, not as stupid. The Timbermaw Hold. I would say the blood sales, but the blood sales, you don't need to do that until there's achievements in the game. Yeah, nah, just leave the reps the way they are. Do people like grinding Furblogs for like 3 days just so that they can get the rep for... No, but it's like a consequence of the whole system. You don't need to change... Like, if you're going to change any of them, change those stupidly hard ones to be, like, slightly easier. So, no. By slightly, I mean ever so slightly. Like, instead of taking 3 days killing his Furblogs, maybe, like, a day. How do you feel about adding credit? Here's my thoughts on Transmog. Transmog good for you. Here's how they could implement it. When you transmog, your character only looks that way on your screen. Everybody else still looks like an absolute ass clown. And you can tell what they're wearing because they look like an absolute ass clown. They have a full set of Wrath, you can tell that because they'll look like a full set of Wrath. The only person that sees your transmog is you. And then you could show it off on your stream or whatever. And you could still laugh at the dad who's got, like, you know, the AQ whatever pink stupid fucking set that's actually the best for DPS warriors, but it looks stupid as shit. That's how I feel transmog good, but only in that way. Should separate it? Yes, for mounts. I think they've made, in the modern game, they've made too many things into toys. Here's what I would do. I'd say yes if you deleted this toys part of it. If you want your stupid little toy taking up a bag space, you should have to, like, carry it with you. But the mounts taking up a bag space. It's like, why? We live in the modern age. It should be not only a tab for this, but like a search. Are there that many mounts in Classic WoW? Not really. But there's people who go out and get all of them. And they should be able to, like, easily search what they're doing. Should Classic Plus or no, absolutely not. This is one of the worst things that ever got in the game. Flats carrying people for gold, and then they redisperse the gold at the end, and it's a fucking mess. And you got third-party people like controlling it. You got softreserve.com. This is horrible. Blizzard needs, not only does it need to get removed, but Blizzard needs to crack down on this and tell these people, if you do this, you're getting freaking banned. Stop doing this. I hate this. Stop it. Should the level cap ever be increased from 60? No. Do the prestige levels thing. If people want to, like, reset to 1 and do the whole journey again for, like, cosmetic rewards at the end, that's fine. You want to see a guy running around prestige 100 above his head, you know he's just, like, an absolute leveling loser. But it doesn't need to be increased. It just needs to... The system... For people who really like the journey that much, they should be able to do that. Alright. The world... Should Classic Plus have... Yes. There's zones in the game that aren't in the game. You got Hyjal, could be an endgame spot. You got the backside of Ahn'Qiraj. You got Karazhan that's just sitting there. They could do a Karazhan raid that's like maybe like equivalent difficulty to like Naxx. Maybe that's where you get like offset tier, like let's say Dreadnought gear, but for DPS warriors. Maybe that's maybe I'm answering. But just the zones, yes, there's zones in the game that aren't in the game. You got Quel'Thalas, which is above all like the empty zone. You got the Gilneas. Yeah, absolutely. There's just zones in the game that aren't in the game. Just put them in. Give them a purpose. Like I said, let's say you really just like doing outdoor content. You don't want to raid. Make Hyjal the super giga hard zone where if you're a solo player, I can go get a tier 3 piece, but it's going to take me weeks, but I can just grind in Hyjal. Anywhere and beyond, like the Dark Portal's there. They could make Outland like another zone too, the old Outland. Like just make it just Hellfire, and then you go in there, and then you can only be in there for so long before it kicks you out. I don't know. They got so many things. Should do content, yes. I think if they're keeping the XP rates the same, there needs to be other zones for leveling, because didn't Classic have a problem where they said they actually like didn't make enough quests to get from 58 to 60? Yeah, they should just make quests in those zones fine. Dungeons, no. Delete that right there. There doesn't need to be new dungeons. I hated how they tried this with what do you call it? Blackfathom Deeps, how they reworked it into a raid. So stupid. If I want to level, it should be a zone and quests. Or give me more quests to do in the existing dungeons, that's fine. Should leveling speed be sped up? No, that's not Classic if they speed it up. Should there be more class-specific quests? Yeah, why not? Like, anybody who pressed no, like, why? You're asking for Classic Plus. Where's the plus? Yes. If I'm a warrior, you guys didn't like getting the Whirlwind Axe? You guys didn't like getting the Fire Hardened Armor? You guys didn't like going to get Berserker Stance? Like, hello? Oh yeah. Oh man, Epic Rockdalar Scepter of Shifting Skin. I feel like they could make a legendary item for every class this way. Make it like an extensive, like you're gonna work like a freaking year on this thing. Probably more. But you get something that's really good for you at the end. It should require you to do all the raids, all the dungeons. Like every quest should have a different like piece, a different element. You know, and it all culminates in you getting a legendary something for your class. I don't know. I would replace the word epic with legendary. There should be a legendary questline for every. Keep the ones in that already exist. Like the casters already get Anti-Ash and Nax. Warriors and stuff already get Thunderfear. I'm talking about the classes don't get an option. Should get a way to get a legendary. Which of the following list describes how you'd like to see changes in old raids? I prefer old raids, easy. Keep the original spirit. Do all of the above, man. I want to see new mechanics. I want to see entirely new bosses. I want some of them to just be stupid easy. I mean, even they do this into the modern game. There's just bosses that are just tank and spank still. Even though it says they do like 6 abilities, they actually don't. You just ignore them. I mean, that's just like boss design 101. Like, you can just have a tank and spank boss in there. Again, I want the, like, where's the plus if they don't do this? Should there be new raids? Yeah, propose raids that already exist, plus create new ones. Again, Hydro has that portal at the bottom. It could be another, like, it could be like, Finestra down there for some reason, or I don't know. Scarlet Enclave was cool. You could do Karazhan, it's there. Grim Batol's there. I mean, they got these listed. Caverns of Time is closed. There's so many you could do. Okay, the player. Should Classic Plus have new playable races, and if so, it's acceptable? Never seen? Nah. Sure, like, here's what I'm thinking. High Elves for Alliance, the Grand Alliance, and Ogres for the Horde. The two that he thought it was always going to be, and then everybody says Murlocs, and then Murlocs would be neutral, but, like, I think a Murloc is stupid. But definitely Ogres for the Horde, and High Elves for the Alliance. Like, make lore sense to Classic. Classic Plus have new classes. I'm gonna press no opinion. Only because I feel like it could get to a point in Classic Plus where it's so stale that, like, okay, throw the monk in, right? Like, we're on, like, Classic Tier 7 or whatever, and then they're like, okay, if we're never going to Burning Crusade, let's put in monk. Like, I don't really have an opinion on this because it depends how long the longevity. Like, are people even going to be playing by the time they announce the monk in Classic? It's too many what ifs to even answer this question. Should new race? Yes. No, not any race, but any class. Like, why is Human Hunter not a thing? That's stupid as hell. Can every race be warrior? I think so. And then obviously, um, horde paladins and alliance shamans is always something that comes up. I don't know how that would work with high elf and ogre, but I think you could make it work with somehow. Blood elves, I guess, made more sense. Yeah, I just there's certain ones that make sense that aren't available, like Human Hunter. And then you got Undead Priest, because that Undead Priest is fine, but Human Hunter isn't. Okay, buddy. Should the Horde have Paladins and the Alliance Shamans? Yes. Here's a fun idea. Make it a very challenging questline to even unlock that as an option. Okay? Make it so if you see a guy playing a Horde Paladin, you know he went on some fucking incredible journey to do that. The only reason I say this is because I hate how in the raids, if you're an Alliance, Shaman gear drops. That's the only reason I think yes on this. No, if they could make it so Shaman gear does not drop for the Alliance, Paladin gear does not drop for the Horde, then no. Then it's fair. I don't get wasted loot, and those are distinctly unique to their faction, and so unique to their faction that, like, they fix the loot tables and everything that goes with that. But I think they're too lazy to do that, so just add them to both factions. Should classes be reworked? New base abilities? I don't like this. This is a rigged question, because some quality of life, yeah, like the combo points should persist. Warlock, yeah, should summon. No, don't go crazy with it. But Paladin should at least get Crusader Strike, like baseline. Like, a red Paladin has no way to get, like, mana as they're attacking. Like, just give, like, Paladin, like, red Paladin, like, Crusader Strike, maybe Divine Storm as, like, a final... Like, replace the final Repentance node with Divine Storm. Because, like, who cares about Repentance? Make that a skill you learn at the trainer. It's about the extent of what I would change. Of the following, what's the most important change needed to raid buffs in Classic? Reagents is fine. That's always been a thing. Costless mana. Who cares? You sit and drink. Like, are you playing your class if you don't sit and drink every 5 seconds? No, don't combine them. Here we go. That's what it is right there. Raid buff should be single cast raid wide. When you cast Arcane Intellect, everybody should get Arcane Intellect. It's the only change I would do. Like, having to go through and click every guy is just dumbest. Here's what I would say. Make it cost your entire mana pool. Don't even care about the mana. But when you click it, every person gets it. And it should be longer. It should be like 2 hours. But then your recourse for doing that should be you should have to sit and drink. Should talent specializations be reworked? Yeah, again, reworks across the board. Like, I would remove Repentance. I'd make that a Paladin skill you learn at the trainer, like, on the same level you get it in the tree. Change that last node to a Divine Storm. What other ones? There's so many things I could think of for Warrior. I'm sure your class is your favorite class out there that you're playing. Like, I would like to see the entire talent tree just get, like, actually thought about, because they're awesome. You get power per every time you level up. But some of the nodes are so boring, like, ooh, I get Ghost Wolf speed this level, or like, ooh, my Lightning Shield orb does like 1% more. They need to be like actually cool, not It's like they need to be exciting and cool, not just like, oh, I leveled up and I get like 1% crit, but only if it's against like Hogger. Should fourth tell? Yes. Hybrid classes. Yeah, no, give everybody a fourth spec. I don't even care. Like, everybody's talking about Titan Grip for Warriors. I don't think you can balance it the way Fury is, but give it a fourth tree where Titan's Grip is a thing, you get as a passive, but like you get less stats per like weapon. You could call it like Juggernaut or something. That's fine. That's a fourth spec that, like, if somebody wants to play Titan's Grip, you lose stats if you equip two-handers, but like you're a whole different. You're not Fury. You're like a whole different thing. Tank Shaman's fine. The only one I don't want to see back is Rogue Tank. To me, that made no sense. But like, what do you call that? Metamorphosis Warlock? That was awesome. Plus, it would help fix part of the tank problem. I'm not so sure about Healer Mage, Chronomancy. I don't really want to see that, but like, I guess having another healer doesn't hurt. Yeah, again, it's Classic Plus. This is part of the plus. Give everybody a fourth thing they can do? Holy moly. Here's another problem I have with it too. Balancing it though. I have a feeling they're going to be incredibly imbalanced for a while until the fourth spec like sets in, and then people are like, okay, Fury is still better than Juggernaut, or like, you know, whatever. Should every spec be competitive? Yes. Yeah, I think PvPs are for absolute nerds, but like, you shouldn't have to go like respec your guy every time you want to go do a different activity in the game. Come on now. Should dual special? Yes, tri-spec should be a thing. If you're adding a fourth spec for everybody, give them tri-spec. Here's how it should work. Instead of you going and buying dual spec, you should start with the tri-spec. Every time you click that button to change it, it just costs you 5 gold. That's it. 5 gold. Every time you click that button to change, 5 gold. It's kind of a gold sink. Kind of so you don't just sit and change it constantly, like cheese a bunch of stuff. Yeah, new professions sound awesome. Here's the issue I have with new professions. If they put jewel crafting in, don't do what you did in Burning Crusade where you add sockets and then I need a jewel crafter to make those sockets like perfect. Make jewel crafting so I can make a really cool necklace and rings. I can get my gems from anybody, like a miner, right? A miner can like find the gems in the mine in the nodes. But jewel crafting should be like, I can make the best neck and the best rings in the game for myself. Or, like, if my buddy pays, like, 5,000 gold, he can get, like, Titanic Crusher Ring of the Bazooka or whatever. But more professions drives the economy. It's just good for the game. Should professions have updated more? Yes. Yeah, professions should be way more relevant. Especially if they put new ones in. Okay, so we finished that one. World survey. What the heck? I guess there's a lot of these. Okay. Pick the top 3 dungeons you enjoy leveling in Classic WoW. Cathedral. Zul'Farrak. The essays kind of suck. It's not really leveling. I just like Blackrock Depths. It's Not really for leveling, it's just kind of when you finally hit 60, it's like you and your buds go do the end game, right? Major revamping Wailing Caverns. It's horrible. It's not linear and like get to the final boss, you have to kill the snake guys and then summon the final. It's horrible. Nomergon, also horrible. Nobody ever knows where to go. Way too convoluted. Lore Blackrock is awesome. Oh, Temple of Altakar. There's like 5 optional bosses in there that you can summon with items. They seriously need it to be like, if you have the item, you get chance at like bonus loot, but you should be able to do the boss, or regardless of whether or not your buddy has the thing to summon the boss. You should always be able to summon the boss. But the guy embarked on this quest to go get the item to summon it, he should just get like a bonus, like, and it should be a limited amount of times. You shouldn't be able to do the quest and like get a bonus every time. But like, let's say the first 5 times you kill that boss after doing the quest to get the summoning item, you should get like bonus loot. Okay, Blizzard, you're not slick. If this is you, you have $60 billion. You're fine. Quit telling me you have finite resources. Balance them. Make new ones, fix the bad ones. I hate this. This wording comes off to me that this is Blizzard putting this out here. You have $60 billion. Pay your workers to make the thing. Should open world dungeons quest be added? I think open world dungeons are awesome. Jadenar, you go down there, oh my god, you're down there like for the whole day. And then you have to get out of there, like most people just hearth out, but I think they need more of those like Jadenar type things. I don't know if Jadenar is a great example, but yeah, I think, oh, Dark Whisper Gorge, I guess. Yeah. Stromgard? I never even thought Stromgard was like an outdoor dungeon. But yeah, like, you can't go into those places without your buddies being like, hey, let's go kill, like, dude up, like, go kill the Dreadlord in Jadenar. There needs to be, like, way more quests associated with these, though. Like, way, way more. Rare spawns inside of dungeons. No, rare spawns are horrible. Not only is it a waste of time, but there should never be an item in the game. Like, rare spawns are fine, but there should never be an item that's like a hunt item that's off a rare. Like, your best in slot trinkets should not come from a rare. A rare should be like, you either get a cosmetic or like a different version of an item that already exists. Like, I don't want to say like Lionheart Helm because it's like one of the best craft items, but let's say there's like Herod's Shoulder. You can go in and the rare drops like Herod's, a version of it's sort of Scarlet Monastery Armory. There's a chance there's a patrol that's a rare. He drops Herod's Shoulder, same stats and everything, but it's yellow. That's what the rare should be. It should never be a hunt item that you actually need to get. How do you feel about lockout caps? I really actually think this, but I do know why they need to be capped. However, raise the cap from 5 to 10. Problem solved. Yeah, it doesn't really affect me. I'm in the middle. Like, I don't like the idea of mage farming, but like, they're really skilled. I've watched people do the, like, You have to really stay focused as a mage to do blizzard farming that way. It raise the cap from actually not to 10, raise it to like 8. Yeah, 8's fine. How do you feel about Dungeon Tower until you ran a boss? Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't like these. I would remove them. Um, I think when you go in, it's using Ring of the Law as an example. I think when you go in, it should be an option. Pick random Ring of Law or deterministic Ring of Law. Like, okay, I'm doing the Ring of Law. I need to do this boss, like to get the Savage Armor or whatever. That's BIS for pre-Molten Core. Like, you should be able to farm that guy. But then he should also be like, you should be able to do the Ring of Law the way it was intended, or to make it deterministic. There should be a way to toggle that. Should heroic dungeons? Yes, we went over this. Mythic plus styles? Yes. Purely cosmetic. No, I think if you're doing harder stuff, you should get better stuff. But again, it should be hard. They should not be like, oh, I went and fought Drakaseth for the 200th time in my life, and he just does conflagrate. He should be like throwing bombs everywhere, and like, it should be crazy. Like, okay, we've never seen Mythic Classic. What is? You should get rewarded for figuring it out, doing it though. Should certain buffs be like the profession? I don't care. No, no. The word locked is the problem here. Locked. Problem. Again, you should always be able to summon that boss, but if the person there, like, let's say a rogue, let's say there's a boss behind a door, okay? And you guys run up to the door, the boss comes out normally. Let's say the rogue sneaks up to the door and unlocks the door. That rogue, well, your group, no, that rogue, this is class fantasy, should get a chance at bonus loot for lockpicking the door, or, like they said, druid communing with an animal. They should not be locked. You should always be able to do them, but it should be one of those things where if you remember how to do it or go above and beyond, you get something for it. The problem here is locked. I don't like the wording locked. Nothing in the game should ever be locked. You should be able to do it. But again, if a rogue figures out, hey, I can go picklock that door before my group gets there, they should get something for that. Should player power all items only be what? Nah, there should always be something to chase. Dude, you're in a group that, you know, the freaking something epic drops at like level like 30. They're gonna fight over it, and the guy who's gonna win is probably gonna be some dude who's just gonna throw it on the optionals. But that's fine. Funny. I think, yeah, it should always be something to chase. Even if it's not for you, like, let's say everybody in the group can't use the thing, they can still use the thing because they can go sell it. Again, it makes economy and stuff. Should it be solo challenges? Yes. Delves? Actually, a great idea to put in Classic WoW. Mage Tower too. Absolutely. Again, there should be more class. I think there should be more class mastery things. Like, I'm a warrior. Can I tank like a certain boss without dying for X amount of time? And if I don't die, like if I tank him successfully and don't die, like within 2 minutes, it gives me like a title or something. Should dungeon find me? We answered this already. You should still have to travel. Automatic farming's fine. Again, I don't know how they do a rating, but I wish there was. Good summonings. These were in the other survey, guys. Lore survey. Oh boy, here we go. How would you rate the classic WoW? Oh god, it's bad. Like Ragnaros is just there, and then you have to read like other books to even figure out who the guy is. It got good with Blackwing Lair because Deathwing Sun, and then Max like finally was like, oh, something from Warcraft 3 that I actually remember. You feel like Classic WoW does a good job explaining the story? No. You kind of like if you didn't play Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, you're just thrown in there, and you're like, oh, I'm a human talking to like Guard Thomas over there. He wants me to go to Redridge and kill this gnoll that had a name that like the guy who played Warcraft 2, like that gnoll was a part of a creep camp and remembers that. Like, no, they don't explain shit to you. Best major story told in Classic WoW? Is it the... I like the Marshall Windsor story. Story. The issues, all the stories are so... I'll put tied between Marshall Windsor and Nixia Attunement and Health Suzanne in Naxxramas because it was a big bad we knew from previous Warcraft titles finally making an appearance. Wow, I can't spell today at all. Sorry about that. Yeah, those are the two best things I'd say. Like, Windsor was awesome. You had to escort him, and then he went back to Stormwind. He told him that Lady Presta was a Nixia. Nobody believed him. Then she went apeshit. She was a Nixia. You get the thing, you go fight a Nixia. Which was like the first boss that like everybody went to go do, right? It was just like the culmination of doing all that stuff. You get to fight a big ass dragon. And then Kel'Thuzad again, because he was like, oh my god, I know that guy. He's evil. Worst story? The one where they sold out the Activision Bobby... No, I'm kidding. Oh. Princess in Blackrock Depths. Why is she there? Why do we bother saving her? Yeah, I think that's so stupid. You get to the end of Blackrock Depths, and then you get the princess and King Drognin, or whatever his name is. And there's an option to, like, not kill her and save her, and it's like, why? You were actively fighting us? Why are you even down here, lady? I didn't get it. Dude, Caverns of Time not only should be in Classic, there should be dungeons and raids down there. And not the ones that came with Burning Crusade, I'm talking entirely new ones. Don't do Black Morass and Escape from Durnhold again. Do like, I don't know, something that fits with Classic, like The Rise of Ragnaros, or like, I mean, this is the store lore panel, right? Lore, explain to me why Ragnaros is such a bad guy and like why he needs to be stopped before Molten Core. Perfect way to do it. Reputations to be expanded on? The Defias Brotherhood. Definitely. People don't realize that they got screwed. The King of Stormwind refused to pay. They deserved to be explained better. Brood of Nosdormu? Why are they there for IQ? There's a lot of story with them, but it's only told if you do the Scepter of the Shifting Sands quests. Like, why do only people that want to ring the gong get to know this lore? Dandalar tribe, don't care. Shendalar, I mean, they should be expanded on a lot, but like, honestly, I hate turning in books, and I wish they'd remove this ramp altogether. Bloodsail, not really. It's kind of a fun thing you can do if you want. Frostbane, no. Ravenhold, nah, because they're for rogues. I don't know why everybody can go interact with them when they're like a rogue only. Infinite Dragonfly, yeah, because they weren't even in Classic. Like, they were kind of, I think they might have been mentioned, but, like, this and this go hand in hand. Like, if you're going to explain more of the Brood of Nosdormu, you need to explain the Infinite Dragonflight is, like, the counterpart, right? Maybe we don't see them in Classic. Maybe they're just, like, hidden in the shadows. Like, Nosdormu's like, there's this evil group that's, like, against us, but I can't seem to find them, or whatever. Hydrax and Waterlords, yeah. I don't understand why the Prince helps us, why he gives us stuff to douse the runes. Besides being water, I don't understand why his vendetta against Ragnaros exists. All the other ones I don't care. Well, maybe Ogre clans explain why they're all over Azeroth, and like they haven't joined a faction and they always fight the players. This I don't care about. Like, Desolus sucks. Syndicate is just the evil. They're like the anti-rogue rogues. Yeah. Again, this one and this one go hand in hand. If you're gonna explain one, you have to explain the other. Like, they're opposites, right? Is it important to you if the story of Classic Plus leads from phase to phase in a cohesive way? Nah, I don't really care. I would like it to be like, how do I put this, chronological. Some of the stuff like expects you to know, like read books, and nah, I don't really care, but I really wish there was a lot more like chronological explanation. Should each phase or cluster of phases conclude a storyline before picking up a new arc? Nah. No. If you're not gonna follow the quest chain, like, that's on you, man. Like, if you pick up right in the middle and be like, oh, I forgot the lore, that's completely your fault. And you should be able to, like, it's bad gameplay to not be able to run stuff concurrently. Have a compelling, well, Arthas is one, like, the greatest story this game's ever told. Kel'Thuzad, I'd say, but he goes with, like, he's part of Arthas' story. Akar is awesome, but, like, his story is just that Troy's a blow of blood. Oh, Kil'jaeden. Kil'jaeden is, like, the guy right under the guy who started all the lore. Like, obviously Sargeras, like, come on now. Sargeras is the reason we have Warcraft, and then Kil'jaeden is like his right-hand man who makes everything else, like, puts everything into motion. Illidan, obviously, like, He sacrificed everything. What have you given? The rest of these, I don't think. Kael'thas has a cool story, but he goes with Illidan. And Kel'Thuzad is cool, but he goes with Arthas. The old gods don't really have lore that's told very well. Does Hog even have a story? I thought it was just a Knoll that did bad shit, and then they're like, okay, you're going to the stockade, buddy. Honestly, the Emperor has some good lore. Ragnaros has a lot of cool lore too, but you have to read the books. Oh, Nefarian. Nefarian has a lot of cool lore. I'm gonna pick Hogger just because it's funny. I don't think one of these other ones on the list is better lore, but that's just funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Obviously, Arthas is. If I could rank these, Arthas is. No, actually, Kil'jaeden is 1. Arthas is 2. Illidan is 3. Nefarian is 4, and Hogger's there for the memes. What do you care to mention about the lore? Classic Plus. Classic lore is horrible. For the most part. But can be fixed by utilizing element of time and other methods to tell the stories in game instead of having to read books or play the other Warcraft items. Yeah? Sounds good to me. Quests and leveling. How do you feel the leveling cadence? Average 160 hours? Is this true? Nah, it's fine. There's no way it takes somebody 160 hours to get to 60. 120 sounds right. This, I don't know. This means you're really taking your time. If you take like a whole extra, what, week? The average person, what, 2-3 weeks, maybe? Takes you like 3 months. I don't know what you're doing. Should Classic Plus have phase level caps or reason? No. It's the one thing I complain about SOD. Terrible. Capped at 25 and then 40 and then 50 and then 60. Stupid as shit. Now if it had been every 10 levels, if they had reworked it, given us more to do in the in-between time, maybe. But the way they did it proved to me that I never want to see that shit again. You want to rush to 60? Rush to 60. I don't care. What kind of quests? How much we like them? One, big, obviously, 1, kill enemies. 2, loot items. Fetch item and bring back to this place. Escort A to B. Worst of the worst. Carry this thing from one to an NPC to another? Yeah. Time limit sucks. I actually like having to figure stuff out, so 5. Item drops at certain quest, yes. Then kill a raid boss, fine. Discover a location is down there. Craft X things. Time limits is horrible, and the worst of the worst is escort. I like the simplest of the simple. Go murder a bunch of dudes. Do you feel like the flow of quests in Vanilla WoW lead Zelda Zone? No. Yeah, you often have to grind it. That's just how classic is. Should there be more quest hubs within existing zones? Yeah, there should be more hubs in remote areas. Not only would it give you a reason to go out to those areas, but then you could get clumps of quests to turn in those areas. Yeah, I don't like this. Just adding more quest hubs everywhere for no reason. No, but if they're in real remote areas that are hard to get to, but then when you get there, you get like 12 quests, and then you go turn in the 12 quests, you feel good about it, and you like went somewhere you wouldn't normally go. It's about making the world feel big, right? How do you feel about puzzle quests? They're more complicated to... No. Nah, I'm not a puzzle person. Please don't put more puzzles. Like, it's fine for people like them, but not me. How do you feel about repeatable quests? We need more repeatable quests, but here's what I don't want. I don't want a repeatable quest where it's like, you're a tailor, go craft me 6 bags. No, no, no. I want a repeatable quest. It's like, go kill 10 boars. Go kill 15 boars. Go kill 20 boars. It should get progressively. You should be able to do it as many times as you want, but it should get progressively harder so that like, and then it should reset like with the day reset. But it should get progressively harder so that like somebody doesn't sit there and just grind out. Like, you should be able to get 1 to 60 by doing a repeatable quest. There should be the option, like, go kill 10 boars, go kill 15, go kill 20, and then eventually gets to a point where like I can't do it because it's too high, and then it resets the next day. Should there be daily and weekly world quest? Yes. Dude, world quest is one of the coolest things the game ever put in. Dude, imagine a world quest in Classic. You go to Winterspring, kill 10 Furbolgs today. You get Timberball rep and like gold. World quests, they're so good. I don't know why they weren't in Season Discovery, to be honest with you. Now here's the thing: they need to rotate. Like you can't have kill 10 Furbolgs every day. You need it to rotate every single day, and you need it to be max level stuff scaled. Like, go to Westfall, kill 10 Defiance Pillagers, but they're 60 when you get there, and they're only phased for you if that world quest is active, and so you don't have like a level 10 walk out there and get killed by like whatever. I think there'd be more like world events, but yeah. Should every class get more class quests on top of their already existing one? Yeah. Yeah, it feels like an RPG if you're doing class quests. How do you feel about group quests while leveling? I don't want to see more of them. Yeah, I don't add more, but the ones that exist like are fine. Like doing the ones in Redridge are awesome, where you go with your friends up to the castle. There's like elite like warlocks and stuff. Good quest reward gear be buffed. Yes, but try to make the extra terrible items at least. Yeah, there's like pick one, a pair of boots that nobody will ever wear, or a ring that like this quest is literally like the best ring in the game, or a pair of boots that like you never even look at or consider because they're that bad. Should attunements be streamlined made easier? Funny, I said this. No. Should attunements be account wide? No, I don't think there should be account wide. I think you should still have to go do something on your alt, but it should be way easier. I'm trying to think. And it should be progressive. The more you do it, the more it should go down. I'm trying to think of like the Nax Ramus. Let's say Nax Ramus, you get your first guy, so you get in for free because you got to Exalted. Your next guy, you don't want to grind out Exalted again, so you, instead of needing like 2 Righteous Orbs and 60 gold, you need like 30 gold. And then your third guy should be like 15 gold. And then your fourth guy should be like 2 gold. Fifth guy should be like 8 gold, and then it should after that. If you've attuned 5 guys, to be honest, at that point it should be free. It depends how they want to go about this, but I think you should have to do it. But if you've done it so many times, it should be free. You should get to a point where no matter what you do, you just go talk to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I remember you. You look a little different," and then boom, you're attuned. How would you feel if Classic Plus had prestige levels where you could get... Prestige level sounds awesome, but that's not the way I would do it. Well, it's the way I would and wouldn't do it. Prestige levels is fine. I think you'd call levels after 60 Paragon levels, and like if you reset your levels, that should be called Prestige. Like, so people don't get... Because that's how it was in Call of Duty. Resetting is Prestige. Levels past 60 that don't matter are... Paragon. What if prestige levels get small bonus of fly by speed, generally easy to do things in your account? That sounds awesome. Again, Paragon levels. Just like small thing, like every time you do an activity, you should get stronger. Should there be heirloom I don't have an opinion on this. Again, I feel like after about your 5th guy, you should be able to level up faster. But like, I don't know, maybe make it like how retail has it, where you get 5% XP per guy you've maxed out already. So by the time you get your, because in Classic you can make 10 characters, right? By the time you get your 10th character, it should be like double. How would you feel if your alts got increasingly more XP? Yes. So that's, I didn't even read this. I was talking ahead of the actual survey. Yes. Again, by the time you get to your last character, it should be literally double. Like double XP. Should Classic WoW apply XP for twinking? Absolutely not. I think twinking is for absolute complete losers. You think you think PvP is for absolute losers? This is for like Reddit mod type losers. Guys, I twinked out my level 19 gnome rolls, blade of the thing and the fire weapon. Dude, get out of here. No. Raid survey. Should there be level up raids that give strong... no. I hated SOD for doing all of these things. SOD was so awesome, and to me, this ruined it. Do not take my content that was already content and make it a raid. Make a new raid if you want to do that. How do you feel about catch-up raids? E.g. Cares. Nah, I don't really care as long as they're fun. I think they bridge a gap that doesn't really need to be bridged. You should get good at your, like, class. But I think they need to launch them faster, too. I think, like, after Molten Core is done, ZG needs, like... After somebody clears Molten Core, ZG should be, like, the next week. How do you feel about Too Soon Executives Phase 1? Obviously, this one. Obviously, if somebody's never heard them talk, like, talk their shit, like, let them talk their shit, like, the first or second time, but if the raid leader's done this, like, 200 times, there should be a button to be like, alright, we don't need to stand here and listen to Kel'Thuzad, say minion soldiers of the Cold Dark obey the call of Kel'Thuzad. We don't need to hear that. Just skip it. It should be unlocked based on the raid leaders, like amount of kills. And then it was like, well, you just make the guy who's done it the most the raid leader then. Exactly. How do you feel about raids getting nerfed days, week, months after launch? Nerfs are inevitable. The nerf should happen once. Yeah, no, let them struggle. I feel like Blizzard in the past has given in because stuff is mathematically impossible. It's not. You just don't want to learn the fight. Well, it was impossible. Okay, if it's actually impossible, then nerf it. But I need a mathematician to actually sit down and prove to Blizzard that it's impossible, and then they can nerf it. I hate when they, like, nerf stuff, and they're like, oh, because it's too hard, and then the average, and then it gets absolutely destroyed by the, like, not even the elitist, but the average player. Because they nerf it into, like, they nerf it into non-existence. Given the choice of a new raid being spoiled by PTR or launch, or the... Given the choice of a new raid, I prefer the PTR. Okay, here's the thing. In the past, I used to hate PTRs because everybody would figure out every fight instantly. But then I realized that the PTR needs to be there because there's certain bugs that, like, are unforeseen. I think a PTR, but, like, after they DPS a boss down to, like, where they want to see if there's bugs, the boss should just disappear. Don't reveal the entire fight to some... I mean, all the classic fights are figured out, but I'm talking, like, if they're gonna add a new raid and a new boss, that boss needs to be tested. That's fine. But if you're looking for a certain bug, let the boss, like, let's say you think the bug's in occur at like 65%. Let them DPS the boss down to like 50%, and then it just disappears. And then, so that if there's a last phase, it's kept secret. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 25, 15, 10. I mean, you got your unit, and then you got flex mode all the way down. I don't think it should go down to 10. I think flex should be 20 to 40. How do you feel about raids bosses requiring resistance? I don't think tanks should be required to have them. Yeah, I'd be really disappointed. Resistances are gone in the modern game now, and it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, they put a boss in the game now that's like all fire damage and fire, and I'm like, wait, what if I just had fire resistance? I could RPG my way around this entire fight. Should raids have multiple difficulty levels? Yes. No. There needs to... At this point, we've done Classic like 4 times now. 3 times, 4 times. People have learned them all. Add new difficulties. It's Classic Plus, guys. Plus. Now, we've done Plus. How would you want the difficulty of raids supposed to be easier or hard as cut? The difficulty should be about as hard as... Nah, I don't like Mythic raids at all. That's, like, too ridiculous. Raids could be... Nah, I think SOD did it perfect. I think Scarlet Enclave is a great idea. Like, great scaling. Like, it's harder than Nax, but it's not, like... It's not obscene, right? Like, you get the tier 4 and you can just do 3.5 or whatever people are calling it. And it's still, like, doing Nax in tier 3 doesn't just make Nax easy, it's still kind of challenging. Same thing with Scarlet Enclave. You got the Scarlet Enclave gear and it helped a lot, but it still wasn't free. If there were difficulties of raids, how should the loot differ? Better stats. I think it should have better stats, and the stuff that's in there that's insanely good should be like rare. Like, I feel like have like a trinket on the final boss that's like insano mode for everybody, but then like everybody's gonna want that trinket, so they keep going every week. Should cool down, resets and raids. Yeah, no, they should reset. I know it's not classic, but like it's just bad gameplay. The modern gamer doesn't want to sit and like wait because one guy's wreck is down. Um, Here's the thing. I feel like they should only reset if the boss was in combat for a certain amount of time, like a minute, because I don't want to see people just cheesing this where they pull the boss and then reset it on purpose to reset everything. That should be an option here. Like, yeah, this stuff should reset, but only if the boss, like, if it was like a valid attempt. I don't want to see them pull a boss and then, like they do in Modern now, I'll pull the boss and then feign death so that everybody gets, like, their stuff, but that's so dumb. I think that the game needs a way to tell if it was, like, a valid attempt or if you just, like, ran in and died in, like, 4 seconds. How do you feel? And it would stop, like, idiots from, like, face-pulling stuff, right? Because then everybody would get mad because they're like, God damn it. Now we gotta wipe and try again and not get the reset. How do you feel about world bosses? I don't mind world bosses, but somewhere in between these two opinions again. They shouldn't be removed. Changed, maybe. And I wouldn't be disappointed to see them change. I don't mind, but here's what I would say. They need to respawn faster. Like, way faster. Like, if a group just killed a Zeragos, he should be back, like... And not to the point where, like... Not to the point where, like... You can kill him over and over. Like, obviously, you should only be eligible for the loot once a week or whatever. But it should be to the point where, like... When he's dead, he's back quick enough to where the next guy can get his freaking weekly shot at it. Not have to sit there all day and wait for freaking Azuragos to walk around or whatever. How would you want world bosses to look at? World bosses? Nah, not instanced. Nah, I don't like tagging either. I do care. Tagging is important. Tagging is important. People should response. Well, everybody's like, well, then just instance it. No, it's funny when a hunter comes and steals your tag, and then you have to reset him, right? How do you feel about limited time events? Oh my god, the AQ thing was the coolest thing the game ever had. I was there, baby. I was there. 3 times I was there. How do you feel about quests that require you to enter multiple raids? Oh, that's awesome. No, they need more of these quests. Like I said, every class should get a quest line or something like that's like anti-entry to collect the splinters. You gotta get your group. You gotta go disarm the guy. You gotta kill the dreadlord. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. And this thing should take you like a year. And at the end of it, you get a legendary. But it took a legendary effort. And I'm not saying give everybody a legend. I don't want this to be like the rings and stuff. I want this to be like you play 16 hours a day and you still are working towards this fucking thing, right? Like someday that orange is gonna be in my inventory on my guy, and we're gonna wreck some face with that thing. But goddamn, is other people gonna be like, I'm on step like 17 of like 1700? Like, good luck, buddy. I will see you when you got that fucking legendary item, buddy. How you feel versus cycling? Yeah, I didn't like the cycling on Beatrix. That was horrible. Chromagus is awesome. Like, I don't know, these examples are cycling a twig. Uh yeah, it should be closer to Chromagus and less like Beatrix. Chromagus, like, you get he random breaths you. That's fine. But that boss should literally be entirely different every week. That's horrible. Randomness within the fight is fine. Randomness week to week, no. How long should raid gear remain relevant on average? Dude, the current tier. You should feel like getting stronger. I replaced my might set with Wrath, and then Wrath with Dreadnought, and then Dreadnought with Red Dreadnought. Like, I don't know what the tier 4 would be called, but like, yeah, I don't know. Every tier should be better than the previous tier. Just the way the game's always been. Like a fundamental to keep it that way. Should the phase schedule in Classic Plus reorder the what? Nah, the phases were fine, but they need to add more after Nax. There needs to be like, honestly, they could do this like almost forever until the stats start getting like dummy high. Why aren't we talking about Burning Crusade Plus? I don't understand. Should Classic Plus allow GK? No. Again, not only remove it, but ban every single person who ever participates with this system. Soft Reserve, GTKB, all of this. Horrible. I should not have to leave my game to open a browser, to sign up for somebody's thing, to buy gold from some dude in China. No, stop it. Ban every fucking person involved with this thing. I hate. Sorry, I'm crashing out. I gotta do the surveys. Zone survey. What what do you want new continents, world dimensions added? Yeah, obviously. But vanillafied? Eversong's fine, Hydra's awesome, Ghostline's awesome. Isle's fine, Azurma's fine, this Outland, yeah, they could use the old Outland map. Northrend, probably not, because it's like eventually you're gonna have to do like Wrath plus. Vashir, no. Underwater Terrible Zone. Deep Home, no. Uldum, actually Uldum, yes, because it's in the classic game behind that one gate, and you could do it as a different thing than the Uldum we got in Cataclysm. Twilight Highlands, I would say no, but Grim Batol is there. Tolbarad, absolutely not. The Cataclysm PvP is for Nerd Zone. No. Gilneas, yes, because it's behind the wall. Lost Isles, yes, it was supposed to be part of the game anyway. Emerald Dream, yes, they have a whole map for it, never used it. Pandaria, no. Pandaria is Pandas. No. Draenor, no. Time Travel, Caverns of Time, maybe. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. That's hard ask.
Broken Isles, yes, it's part of the lore. It should have been like in way before it was. Kelturas, I don't know. They mentioned in Warcraft 3 as like a tiny little island. Ended up being whole expansion. No, let's leave it off. Darkspear Islands, we have these in the game. The Echo Isles already there. Dragon Isles, yes. It was another thing that was on like classic maps and stuff. Yeah, why not? Valor, no. Zoldair, no. No, these are no. Ogre, Zonia. Are you making stuff up now? Kazan, no, because the goblins aren't like an allied race, or like Classic Plus isn't getting goblins, right? At least not ones that aren't neutral. Like if you're gonna add goblins, they better be neutral, and you better be able to pick your faction. Telebeam, yes, because it's funny. Like the classic game even had Telebeam bananas. Uh, if I was to like pick ones that maybe I don't want, probably not these three, because those are Burning Crusade zones. But, yeah, how about Vanillafied? And I'm saying Outland is like if they use the old Outland maps, not like if they put in like I don't know if anybody knows, but the old Outland maps look completely different than the Outland we got. Hyjal, obviously it's in the game already. Uldum, it's in the game behind the gates. Twilight Highlands. Actually, I'm gonna uncheck this because it doesn't exist. There's like no spot for it on the map. Gilneas is behind. Lost Isles again. It was literally out in the ocean on alpha builds. Apple Dream, yeah, it's literally in the map files. Broken Isles on old maps. Dragon Isles, like stuff that's on like early concept art for WoW is fine. You could fit it in and make it make sense. Like I said, I don't know about these. I'm only checking them because it says Vanillafied, so I'm assuming like we're not getting Draenei, we're just getting like, you know what? No, I'm unchecking them for that reason alone. And Ghostlands, I don't like Ghostlands. Ghostlands to me is part of Eversong Woods. Yeah, the Eversong Woods is fine. Make that be like High Elf lore instead of Blood Elf lore. And then these two, no, because we're not getting Draenei, so the Exodar and all that doesn't happen, so we don't need, that doesn't need to exist. Would you prefer business folks, these new ones? Somewhere in between? You gotta work on new ones and improve the ones that exist already? Should fast travel? That's horrible, no. Flight paths, tips, portals. Everybody says that's like modern, like, oh no, there's too much fast travel, like, but think about how big the modern game is. It doesn't hurt in Classic to add, like, I'm thinking, where do people always go? Like, it doesn't hurt to add a portal to Eastern Plaguelands Lighthold's Chapel from, like, Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Like, oh no, I don't have to sit on the 14-minute flight path. Like, come on, guys. You guys just, like, wasting time. Like, or make the flight paths faster. Like, why is that not an option? Like, if you, like, tripled the speed of the flight paths, then none of this is, like, required, right? Yeah, I think that's a better solution. I'm just picking these because, to me, it's not. It's like it's too much. I'm like, you could just get a mage and then just tip the mage. So it's like, what's the difference? Maybe that's the solution. Just have a portal to like Lightsoul Chapel, but every time you click it, it costs 30 silver. Like instead of tipping your local mage, you tip like the NPC. Should certain fast travels areas be unlockable? Yeah. The more you do stuff, the more rewarded you should get. If I spend my time and get like Lore Master of Felwood, Felwood should be easy to get to because there's no quest there for me to do anymore. The only reason I go there is to like farm. Would you want to see more respawns or events? Yeah. I mean, yes, like a combination of these. Like, I wish there was yes, but keep rare spawns rare. Like, maybe just different, like, add more rare spawns everywhere, different names, different loot tables. Would you, how would you feel about open world mini bosses akin to, like mini world bosses? Yeah, not sure. It depends how that's implemented. Again, cater to 5 players is fine, but like, again, we got to run into the issue with the tagging and the resetting, and just it gets weird. Depends how those are implemented. Like, does he only appear if you group find it, or I don't know. Should there be more PvP locations in the zones? No, PvP in the open world is fine. I think PvP is for absolute nerds, but there needs to be more events for them to do too. Should the phases in Classic Plus be limited time world rotating world events? Yeah, this is the whole point of phases. Yeah, they're great. No, no, they should rotate. Every couple months, the Scourge invasion should start up again. In case you missed it. Oh, it's a one-time thing. Well, if we're doing Classic Plus, there is no going to Burning Crusade, so what if you like can't play during the months this is out, and then you miss it, and then what if it rotated back? You just knew that you didn't miss out. The only one I don't agree with is the AQ opening. It's like a one-time thing. It should stay a one-time thing. But the rest of these elemental invasions is fine. Again, you can't play for 4 months, you miss it. You come back in 8 months and it's back. This should happen after. The rotating event should only happen after the absolute last phase. They should announce, okay, these things are rotating. They could even rotate the AQ events, just not the opening of the gate, right? No. No. The phases should not progress the world. We already have that. It's called World of Warcraft Cataclysm. It changed the whole world. No. How is it Classic Plus if you change it into Cataclysm Plus? Okay. Player surveys. Classes and talents. How would you rate the class balance in Vanilla WoW? Bad. It's not like terrible, but it's less than good. It's like 4 out of 10 easily. Do you think any balances need to happen? How would they be balanced? Nah, true balance. I think everything should be able to cleave. Everything should be able to do okay on bosses. Which need major overhauling? The ones that nobody plays. Feral Druid. Balanced Druid. Survival Hunter should be Melee Hunter. Where's Arcane Mage? Because that's horrible. Shadow Priest. Protection Paladin, obviously. Sub-Rogue, but that's PvP. I guess it's really good for PvP. All the Hunter specs, everybody complains about them, but like they're good. Yeah, probably those. The ones that nobody ever plays. Discipline Priest, yeah. Red Paladin, yeah. Honestly, my class warrior is just fine. Everything makes sense. Prot is for tank, which nobody actually uses a shield anymore, which is just sad. So maybe I should pick Protection Warrior. Yeah. Uh, Tank Shaman. People love their Tank Warlock. Metamorphosis was awesome. Melee Hunter, obviously. Tank Paladin, yes. Why there's a tree called Protection and they can't tank sucks. Tank Rogue? No. It's the one thing I thought was stupid. Healing Mage? No. Uh, no. A Tank Rogue and Healing Mage made no sense to me. Other? Yeah, there's so many ideas. I'm not gonna pitch it, but yeah, there should be other specs. Healing and taking. Should classes receive new adjusted abilities? Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, again, remove Repentance as the final node, add Divine Storm, give Paladins Crusader Strike ban, Red Paladins at least playable. If new abilities get added to classes, how should they be learned? I don't like the sod runes. The trainer's fine. Quests are fine. I would say experiment, try a whole bunch of different things. Again, I think like Divine Storm should be your final talent in that ret tree because that makes sense. It's super powerful ability. You don't just get it. You gotta work for it. You gotta get the levels for it. Quests are fine. Like Berserker Stance, you have to go out to Frey Island, do that whole thing. And the trainer, like Repentance shouldn't just be gone because it gets moved. It should be at level 40. You could get it off the trainer. How would you feel if talent trees were larger? It depends. Are Paragon levels going to give you talent points? I think that would be giving you player power, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. It really depends how they would do that. Because you can't just give people two points per level. That's crazy. Then you end up with like a Wrath of Lich King talent tree. That's a hard one. Do I wish the trees were bigger? Yeah. Do I wish that certain nodes like meant more? Yeah. But like, how are we doing that with 60 levels? So even if you get 2 points, that's 120 points. It's like, okay, now we're talking about a talent forest instead of a talent tree. How would you feel if each talent had a capstone talent choice? Actually, people don't realize, but Project Ascension does this, and the capstones are very, very cool. Like, you put all your points in improved Ren, now Ren can crit strike but only if you put every single one of your points in that node. It's an awesome way to like give people rewards for putting all their points in one. Should each talent I mean, yeah, like it's really dumb that certain classes, like everybody's like steps to the left, and then there's like one guy, why are you behind? Because I have nothing to do that quicker. Like, yeah, I. This is easy. Heroic Leap for Warriors could just be put in the game. It wouldn't change anything. I don't know what other classes could get, but yeah, every class should be like, Raid Leader calls, okay, step to the left. You should be able to do that. Like, you should be able to be like the first person there if you're good at your class. Should Mass Resurrection be a spell? Yes. Anybody who says no on this, you absolutely love wasting time. Another thing, so this can't, just like the resetting of abilities in Like, you should have to pull the boss and wait like 60 seconds, like, to reset your stuff, so that it counts as like a valid pull. Same thing with this. You should just be able to mass res if, like, you go sack like 4 people to like skip some mechanic, right? You should only be able to mass res if everybody wiped. Like, if everybody wiped, I don't know how the system would determine this, but everybody wiped and you just happen to have a soul stone on one healer, that guy should get a mass res button. I don't know how that would work, but yes, it should be there, but they need to figure out a way so it's not cheesable. It should be like a they need to make the range like make sense too, because again, what if you have everybody run to the next room, die on purpose, and then the guy mass reses, and then you've just effectively skipped like 4 rooms of trash that you're not supposed to be able to skip. I can see that being a problem too. Should damage over time, heal over time. Maybe mass res should be only on bosses. Yeah, well, that's too much to think about. But yeah, there's no reason it can't be in the game. People love just wasting time. I don't know why. Should damage over time, heal over time, supposed to be able to crit baseline for all classes. Yeah, it should be something you spec into. Final note on the affliction tree, should let corruption. Yeah. What's the final warlock? Like talent. If you play affliction, it should make corruption and Curse of Agony be able to crit. But only if you go that deep in affliction and get the final, like, should be the capstone on the final talent. Same thing for like warriors, like deep wound should be able to crit, but it should be like only if you have like mortal strike. Like if you have mortal strike and rend applied to the same target, the rend can crit. There you go. Should be like something you gotta build into that. Should each class in Classic Plus have one tailored what? Should each class spec tailored for no. PvP's for nerds. I don't care if you guys get your own spec to yourself. Especially if we're adding 4th specs. No. You're good. Like pick one of the 4 now available to you. Like, come on. Warrior. Warrior's kit horrible for dungeon content, like a 6, because you can tank, I guess. PvP content, dude, don't ever try to PvP as a prot warrior. Are you kidding me? Actually, solo content's even worse. I guess, like, it's only a 6 on these, because, like, if you say I'm a tank, they'll probably, like, bring you. Even if you somehow are, like, one of those losers still using a shield, right? Like, you probably I mean, tank shortage. But don't try to, like, play the game as a prot warrior. Holy moly. Arms warrior? Ever since they increased the debuff cap and stuff, Arms Warrior is awesome now. Because you don't have to worry about your deep wounds taking up somebody else's slot. And like, Mortal Strike is one of the best PvP abilities in the game. It just reduces healing. It's crazy. And it hits like a freaking truck, dude. Fury? Actually, Fury is like super good for solo content. Kind of sucks though for. It's really okay. Here's what I want to say. In rating, Fury is the best spec like in the game, but it's not fun. You smash like the same 4 buttons, and you just make sure Heroic Strike is always up. there's always play like with the heroic strike, like always making your offhand hit. Just play around with that, and then like you just always press bloodthirst when it's up, and then like if there's trash, you cleave. To me, like it's because of the rotation. It's not that fun. It's also okay in PvP. It's not arms, like you don't get to smash somebody with Mortal Strike, but like you can run up on somebody and get like flurry and some crits. I don't have an opinion on normalizing rage regeneration or rage generation. Like it's always been if you have the Insano mode gear, like you have so much freaking rage, doesn't matter. Like starting out, the reason it can't be normalized is because like leveling would be weird then. Like, every time you swing, you get like 10 rage or whatever. They could rework how rage works entirely. Like normalizing rage isn't, I don't think, the answer. I think like reworking this entire system is what the question should be. Should warriors get Titan's grip? Again, no opinion. I think if we're gonna do that, add a fourth spec in. People can mess around with it if they want. I'd purposely make it not as good as Fury, so like they can sit and argue over two-handers. Like, oh, these two-handers are better. Like, I don't know. Titan's grip is cool, but like I don't like Titan's grip being part of Fury yet. Make it its own thing. Should the player coin Fury Prot be the best version? No. No. They need to fix protection and make Sword and Shield like the best tank again. That was always the fantasy, and I don't understand. Like, Fury Prot is so dumb. Should abilities like Mortal Strike, Shield Slam generate rage? Yeah. I don't think this is how it should work. I think what should happen is Heroic Strike should have a small chance to generate rage instead of cost it. And these abilities, same thing. Just make certain talents give these abilities, and others. These three listed are like just examples, but there should be some RNG where like you get angrier instead of spending rage when you use like certain things. Should orc set Q and continue guarantee your offhand weapon hit cap? Yeah. Just leave it. People have learned how to do it now. Just leave it. I would say no. I like the answer no. It ruins itemization. It kind of does, but like at this point, it's something that was in the game. Like I'm sure it wasn't like intended, but like people figured out how to do it, so just leave it. Should Thunderclap apply and refresh Rend? No. Here's where I would delete. I would delete this. It should apply Rend. It should not apply Deep Wounds. Deep Wounds is for crits. Rend, it should apply. Especially for Prot Warrior. That's how you can start making Prot Warrior better again. When you Thunderclap, you get Blood of Thunder effect, and then because stuff's bleeding, it's more likely to stay on you. Should charge be usable in combat. I don't have an opinion. We have Intercept, which is charge in combat, but I feel like there should be a talent. There should be a talent in deep in the Prot tree where it's usable in combat, because there's your tank mobility. And there should be in the arms tree, like way down, like near Mortal Strike. There should be a talent that basically makes it like longer cooldown, like intercept. Make it 30-second cooldown, but you can use it like once every 30 seconds. You can use it in combat. Make it like a little buff or something, like you get when it's ready. Stance dancing. Yeah, I don't like it. For the longest time, people like said stance dancing was so fun, and this needs to be in the game. And no, just no, it doesn't. Cooldown for recklessness. 30 minutes is way too long. I feel like 30 minutes is crazy. 5 minutes is fine. 3 minutes is too short. That means you could use it like multiple times a fight. I think 8 minutes more reasonable, and then you could have a Fury talent that reduces it by like a minute and a half, and then 3 minutes. So that it'd be 8. It could go down to 5 if you're talented. 30 minutes is, I think 30 minutes is ridiculous for modern gamers. They're gonna lose their mind. Like, I understand that's how it is now, and like they plan around it and whatnot, but you should be able to use it at least once per boss. Like, again, people who pick this, it's like you really just want people to not have fun, huh? Again, I feel like 8 minutes should be an 8-minute cooldown, and then you can talent it down to 5 minutes. Professions. Dude, it's like a 2. Rank to follow how much you enjoy them. Skinning's always been my favorite. It's just simple. Like, you kill a beast, you get a skin. Mining is probably next. It's fun to, like, just run up on the node. Like, I don't know, as aware I've always been a mining blacksmith because, like, that just made sense to the fantasy or whatever. Next would be, herbalism. Again, just nodes you can collect. Blacksmithing is next. Again, I'm a warrior. I like the fantasy of like making my own stuff. Enchanting is awesome. You can like break down items that people don't need. Leatherworking is very cool. Again, but not if you're a warrior. If you're like one of the people, if you're like a druid or rogue, leatherworking is your blacksmithing. Engineering is cool. It's like the one everybody likes doing. Cooking, I literally... To me, cooking is cooler than alchemy. Like, I don't know, alchemy, you can make potions and stuff, but like... This is for like Mr. Moneybags, like the guy who understands how to make the stuff and play the auction house. But again, there's too many add-ons for that. Tailoring is down there, first aid is like lame. These 3 are lame. Tailoring, you get colossal like everything in the world. Doesn't require like a secondary like tailoring and enchanting is a really good combo because there's no gathering profession for cloth. You just get it off of humanoids. First aid is lame because it's like tailoring, but like, ooh, I can make band-aids. Big deal. And then fishing, I don't like fishing in real life. I don't like fishing in this game. Fishing is like the most brain dead shit ever. You just sit there and then you wait for the... And then it's horrible. Fishing is horrible. How often do you current... I believe the current... How useful... Oh, useful. Leveling? Like an additional thing you do? Rating? At the beginning, like phase 1, like you get ready for Molten Core, like a Lionheart helm. Holy shit, dude. Anything from engineering, like, at the beginning?
Holy shit, dude. Then it falls off. It starts out like here. Like, holy shit, I can, like, I'm a crafter. I can craft the best shit in the game for myself. If I go farm it or have friends that, like, want stuff. But then, by the time Molten Core comes out, it's, like, there. By the time, like, BWO comes out, it's, like, there. And then next, it's, like, I'd say it's pretty bad. I'll put a 4. PvP, I don't know. PvP is for nerds. I would assume it's the same as PvE. Like, maybe you can make, like, fun engineering things, like Mind Control Cat, like run them off a cliff. That's funny. Actually, I'm gonna put leveling up better than half. Because again, it's like, if you pick up 2 gathering professions, you're just doing them anyway, like as part of your journey.
Many of the ingredients required for crafting professions are too hard to find. I have no strong feelings one way or the other. If you look at AH God, no. If you're not good at it, yes. If you farm them, it's like, okay, you're gonna farm. So, yes, gathering professions should absolutely be secondary. I don't know. As a warrior, I would think I would, if I could get mining, blacksmithing, I think my second profession would be like engineering, right? I can utilize all my ores that I get. Should professions give XP? No. That's too slippery of a slope, because as soon as you give it to gathering, people are going to be like, well, I should also get it for crafting. If you give it to only crafting, people are like, well, why don't picking flowers give me XP? And if you pick yes for all professions, people would just sit in town all the time and do nothing but this constantly. So, no. Should professions be rebalanced to give more diverse? Yeah. Always. Like, why is engineering the best one in the game? And then you got iconic things like the Lionheart helm that are only good, but why can't I reforge it when a new tier comes out and it be good, as good as like a, like, let's say we're in like Blackwing Layer tier 2. I should be able to reforge it into like the Blackwing Lionheart helm, and then it should be like equivalent stats to like the Helm of Wrath. Should classic plus add profession specializations? Yeah, all of them. Dude, yeah, you should have Spellweave tailoring, um, um, specific enchanting like rings, amulet, but it should be for you if you put all that work in. Alchemy, you should be able to make insanely good potions, but only for you. Herbalism, you should be able to like specialize in picking whatever, like, let's see, really like being the guy who farms Black Lotus. You should be able to like get additional Black Lotus. You should get less of every other herb, but then like if you find a Black Lotus, you should get more of that one. Let's say you're like the guy who likes picking like Goldthorn. Like, I'm the Goldthorn guy. Like, I don't know why this, like, it's an RPG. You need to add more RPG elements to this thing. Should gear crafted while you're leveling be more relevant and accessible? Yes. Should profession quests require that you learn the profession to complete, allowing you to purchase the item? I don't know what this is supposed to mean. I feel like you should always just be able to buy a quest, like, a quest item. That's how it works. Like, it's like asking you should it work like real life or not. Like, if you're rich and somebody asks you, hey, do you have trying to think of an example. Hey buddy, I can build you an Xbox from scratch, but I need just some bolts. If you're rich in real life, I don't know how to make bolts, but I know a company that makes bolts. Let me go get some bolts. So you go buy the bolts, you bring to your buddy, and then he makes you a new Xbox. I mean, come on. Should you be able to use professions corresponding elementals? Yes. Makes no sense that you can't. Like, an air elemental, you should be able to, like, drain the air out of him. Should Black Lotus be made more accessible? I know I just said Black Lotus the farmer, but that's if you're gonna go out and actually, like, pick them yourself. No. Here's my idea. To make my idea more clear, if you're the Black Lotus guy, you like finding Black Lotus, that's fine. But the additional ones you pick should be soulbound, and then the ones that are normal should be... You know what I'm saying? So you don't flood the market with Black Lotus, you could just make better stuff for yourself. Oh, we're getting there, boys. Okay. Which new races would we see? High Elves, Alliance, Ogres for the Horde. Goblins, maybe Goblins neutral, because I hate how they went to the Horde and Cataclysm. Pandaren, obviously not. Volpera, because the furries love it. No, I'm kidding. I think, here's what I think. Stuff like the Mag'har Orc and the Dark Iron Dwarf should not be... You shouldn't pick them in your... They should have the same racials as a normal dwarf or a orc. It should still get blood fear. They should just... It should be cosmetic. So I'm going to uncheck these, but let me explain. You should be able to be a high mountain Tauren. That's fine. But it doesn't do anything for you. It's just aesthetic. I think High Elves and Ogres should be the new races. Completely new racials. And then everything else, like, you could go down in Blackrock and, like, do the whole quest chain to become a Dark Iron Dwarf. But it doesn't do anything for your gameplay. It just makes you look cool. How do you feel about neutral races choosing? I like neutral races, that's fine. Neutral races, same as always. If you're going to be a neutral race, you start from the beginning just like everybody else. This whole start at level 10 thing that Modern did, I don't like. Out of 10, do you like the current racials? Yeah, it's about an 8. I think expertise is awesome. I think humans have one of the strongest ones ever in diplomacy. 10% more rep doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider how much of a grind that actually takes out, that's crazy. Whatever the orc one is that, like, makes you resistant to stun. Crazy stuff. The undead have, like, the one that breaks you out of fear. And the breathing, like, they're all cool. They all make sense, too. No, that's stupid. No. Don't even mess with the racials. They're fine. How would you feel about cross-faction play? Yes. Dungeons and Raids, fine. Open world PvE, fine. Here's what I'm gonna say. You should not be limited by your faction from playing with your friends. Never. There should never be a case where your buddy accidentally made a human level to like 30 and now you can't play with him because you're a level 41 hunter boy, orc boy. However, you should never be able to fight the enemy faction in something that would be considered like PvP. I don't like how this says battlegrounds. Arenas, yes, but battlegrounds, no. Because that's strictly, unless it's a war game, in which case it's like set up by players anyway. So this one's a hard pick for me because Dungeons and Raids, absolutely. Again, there's no reason you should be able to play with your friend because he picked the wrong side. Especially if he's new or whatever, doesn't know. Open world PvE, who cares, really? I mean, I guess this would be hard to, like, figure out who got the tag, but, like, not if you're partied up. I'm sure the system knows exactly that what, like, who hit it first now, regardless of faction. Arenas, yes, that makes perfect sense, because, like, arenas like a friendly competition between individuals, right? Even according to the lore. Battlegrounds, I would say no, unless it's a war game. Open world PvP, no, that's stupid. Like, you're my enemy out there. Whether you're my friend or not, you're my enemy out there. How do you feel about the current faction dynamic? Dude, a third faction is... That's wild work. We're never doing that. Dude, it is critical to the lore. Dude, the first game was called Orcs vs. Humans. What is this? Why are we talking about a third one? No. Should gear mounts be faction specific? How do I put this? They should be faction specific. You should be able to see them in your collect. Like, there should be a mount tab. You can see the mounts from the other faction if you've earned them, but they should be like redded out. You can't ride the mounts from the other faction, but you can at least see if you've earned it or not, so that you don't accidentally rebuy. Yeah, certain quests and dungeons should be exclusive. Should the regular auctions be? Yes. This is just an economy thing. Like, basic economics should tell you this. It should always be cross-faction. I mean, I don't think in real life they tell anybody you can't, like, I don't think they're racist. I don't think they tell you can't sell things because you're, like, from Zimbabwe. I don't think they care. I think they're like, you got something to sell, it's a capitalism, right? Systems. How do you feel about gold sinks in WoW? Gold sinks are awesome, but it needs to be implemented in such a way that my elitist buddy who worked hard to get the gold should be able to get, like, the golden chariot of whatever. But the guy who just swiped his mom's credit card should get banned and not be, like, I don't know. What kind of gold sinks would you be okay with in Classic Plus? Ew. No. That's literally power for money. That's stupid. More expensive blade paths? No, unless they're like giga fast. Heirlooms? No. Consumables? No, I don't like temporary power. Temporary buffs that increase your crafting skill ability. Sure. Cosmetic, always. Again, more fast travel. The more you do something, the more you should unlock. That's fine. Should Classic Plus have tabards with certain reputations? Like in Wrath of the Lich King? I don't really have an opinion. I didn't like switching the tabards out in Wrath, but, like, it was a cool system. Should Classic Plus allow you to level certain repetitions beyond Exalted Prestige level? Oh, yeah. Yeah, cosmetic. Let's use the keyword cosmetic. Everything in the game should have a Paragon / Prestige level where, like, if I'm Exalted, I should keep getting I should be able to earn more stuff. More stuff is always better. How do you feel like certain rep being? How do you feel about certain reputations being linked to choosing one? Oh, so Aldor Scryer. It's not that they create FOMO. It's that I want to like when I open up my tab, I want everybody to say Exalted all the way down. It's not FOMO. It's that I'm a completionist and I want my list to say Exalted, 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 and then you got one random one that's just hated. That I don't like it, but yeah, it's not FOMO for me. It's like a completionist problem. It triggers me. Would Would you want to see a compound enemy classic that gave double reps once? Yeah, this should be common. Again, it should not work that way where it's a one-time buy. It should be your first character you get to Exalted, it takes as long as it takes. Your second guy, it takes 5% less time, then 10%, then 20%, 40, 80, 120. By the time you get to your 10th character working on that guy Exalted, you should do like 10 quests and it should be Exalted. Should Classic Plus feature additional minor reputations? Sure. Their keyword here is player power. I don't want some guy sitting there grinding because the blood sales sell Stale of the Black Wind that like gives like plus 12% chance to hit, and then everybody's sitting there killing the goblins because yeah, no, don't do that. No. Do not. No. Don't make me do PvP for absolute nerds. Get my best PvP items. That's horrible. Same way around. Somebody who likes PvP should never have to step in a raid if they don't want to. Should classes get a strong buff when they wear a full set of highest equipable? Yeah, I always thought that was stupid that, like, even in Wrath of the Lich King, this is still a problem. They fixed it in Cataclysm because they actually added the specializations. But in Wrath of the Lich King, the absolute best set of gloves for Warrior is a set of leather gloves from Rotface because it gives the highest amount of armor pen. That is just beyond stupid to me. Why am I big plate wearing man and I have to wear these stupid leather gloves? Now, that's a Wrath of the Lich King example, but there's so many more in Classic. It's like, I want to be wearing my armor type plate. And it's easy to fix too. Every piece, every item in the set should just be plate, like, and then just make the sets all 8 pieces. It's very easy to do. Should progressive phases introduce gear? What? Should progressive phases introduce gear that nearly always has higher base stats than gear previously available? Yes. Again, you should always feel like progressing. If you're participating in the latest patch, you should be getting the latest stuff, and it should always be better than everything else. Do you like that certain items are made powerful? No. No, that's so stupid, like... Nah, it's terrible. The Onslaught Girdle in, like, phase, like, 2? 3? Nah, that's really stupid. Should Legendary and Classic Plus always be weapons? Other gear slots. So I talked about everybody should be able to go on a quest to get a lead. Nah, they should always be weapons. Just trying to think. The Forecasters of Atiash, Thunder Fury, Sulfuras, How would that even work? I think there should always be weapons. At least in Classic. We can talk about other legendaries and other slots in, like, TBC Plus, Wrath Plus. Should legendary weapons remain? Yes, for the entire lifetime, yes. You went on an epic adventure. No. A legendary adventure. To get a legendary item, okay? This thing is orange, brother. We're not talking perps anymore. We're talking orange, okay? This fucking thing should be absolutely incredible. When you finally get that thing, you're like, okay, that slot, my weapon is done. I never have to look at my weapon again. I have to enchant it, and then for the rest of the game, I walk around. That item is legendary. Should every class get access to legendary weapons and items? Yes. They should all have an extremely hard, insane question chain to get one. Should weapon skill remain in the game? I would say remove it, let me swing my new axe, but here's how I feel like it should work. Keep it. I used to be of the opinion just remove it. But keep it. Here's how it should work. As soon as you cap any weapon skill, anything, let's say I'm level 60 and I've been using a two-hand sword, and then all of a sudden I find a sick two-hand axe. I should have to swing like 10 times to max out the next skill. It should be in the game, but after you've maxed one, all the others should get like 100 times the rate. So that it's still kind of classic feeling, but like, I'm good with one weapon. Why wouldn't I be good? What's the difference if it's an axe or a mace, right? Like, as long as I leveled up something, the next thing. But here's the difference too. One-handers and two-handers should be different. If you cap a one-hander, all other one-hand weapon skills should level like 100 times faster. Same with the two-hand. If I level a two-hand sword, all axe, mace should be, because that's RPG. Like, that's just, to me, that screams RPG. Like, what does it matter if it's a two-hand axe or a two-hand mace? They're both, like, you're still gonna have to be strong and, like, know how to swing the thing, but obviously, if you've been using a two-hand your entire journey, you're not gonna know how to use one hand, so you're gonna be, like, off balance or whatever, you know, like, there's a little, I mean, I understand it's a high fantasy game, but that adds a little bit of realism in, like, oh, I'm using two one-handers, I gotta learn how to, like, do this. And then once you do it once, it should be the same for all one-handers, because why would you have to relearn just because it's a different, you know, like, what's the difference between a sword and an axe, really? What stats, if any, should be added to Gear in Classic Plus? Armor Pen's awesome, but I didn't like how it had to get capped. Haste is fun. I think haste is fun, but it needs, this can't be haste rating. Do not, Blizzard, do not do the rating thing. Haste needs to work like this. Just like all the items say now, increase your chance to get a critical strike by 1%. This should say increase the casting time of your spells by 1%, right? That should be haste. There doesn't need to be a rating, just put a percentage on it. I know what that means. I don't know what this arbitrary thing is that you put in that Modern has. Don't do that. Mastery is another thing. Very cool, but it should be percentage based. Like Arms Warrior. I'll use this as an example. There should be like Mastery increases the damage of your deep wounds by like 2%. And then it should say, in quotations, your mastery. And then like it's different for like Shaman. Like Elemental Shaman should say like, you have a 2% chance to cast an additional lightning bolt with every spell cast. certain rank and then mastery. Just say mastery. That's fine, but leave it. Do not make them ratings. I don't understand what that means. Other leech. The other territory stats. Leech, indestructible is fine. Like those are just funny. Because like indestructible, all it does really does is save you like a tiny bit of gold at the end of the day. And avoidance. Avoidance is fine. Like, oh, I can stand in the rain of fire for 10, like, not like, I can stand in the rain of fire for like 2 seconds longer than my comrade over there because he doesn't have avoidance. Should resistance rain? We talked about this already. Yes. Should gear? Yes. I used to be very no on this, but how else can you gauge how strong you are or somebody else is if there's no? It doesn't say. I think they need to do a pass on all the items and like make all the item levels make sense, because for some reason like some of them are just wrong. Like why the shoulders of might better than the shoulders of wrath, like numerically, but like they're not, because if you look at the stats, like you know, that they need to do a pass to make sure like if they're gonna have an in-game gear score or item level, like that doesn't require me to have a mod, then like your in-game tooltip better be right. Because I don't want some guy being like, my shoulders are way better than yours, and it's like 2 tiers lower. Should healing power and spell power be combined into one stat? Yes. I don't know why it's not. It's crazy that it's not. Because then if you got a healer who wants to or needs to DPS, he doesn't get like screwed by it not being one stat. Should more gear FX is of the soldier of the well, yeah. Like you're leveling and you're getting greens like what? There's like of the wolf, of the bear, of the eagle, of the monkey, of there should be like hundreds of these, and they should all be different. Should attack power and range attack power be combined? Yes. Another thing. Well, definitely yes, because if survival is going to be melee hunter, that would just screw hunters over. Because let's say the one fight they want to play marksman, and the next fight they want to play survival, play up close and personal. They should get punished for switching. Should hit chance be changed to a rate? No. No, no, no. No ratings. No, no, no. No. I understand what 2% means. I don't understand what 171 rating. Like, I don't want to whip out my calculator to figure out if I'm a hit capped or not. Should casters have a base stat, intellect, or something else that directly gives them spell? Yeah. Why isn't that a thing already? Strength gives attack power. Intellect gives spell power. Should Classic Plus have the ability to reforge your gear, reducing one stat to gain another? No, I think we're going too far into Cataclysm. I think... How do I put this? I think most players would say yes, because they want to change, like... I don't care if I can crit if I can't even hit. But here's the thing. Blizzard needs to do this work. This is their game. Make them do the work. Itemize the goddamn items better, and then I wouldn't have to reforge them. Again, I don't know if this is a Blizzard secret survey, but that seems like one of those big questions like, we can make the players do it. No, you do it. You're making the items. Mechanics. Oh, here we go. What version of layers would you want to see in? I'll put no opinion because, like I said, first week, 64 layers. Second week, 32. Third week, 64, 32. Third week, 16. Fourth week, 8. Fifth week, 4. Sixth week, 2. 2 layers. And then merge all the layers into one if there's still, like, if the lag and stuff is finally, like, fine. How would you feel spell batching was in Classic Plus? Dude, seriously, remove it entirely. I can't believe this is even an argument. Literally, the engine doesn't... They had to go, like, break the engine on purpose to get this to work how it used to work. Dude, we're not in 2004, 2005. The game can figure out who casted what when. And if it can't, that's entirely their problem. How do you feel about measures taken by Blizzard to prevent boosting within dungeons? Let players boost, man. I feel like it's a knowledge, like you're punishing people for having knowledge of the game that they didn't have 21 years ago. Like if a mage knows how to stand up on some pillar in Blizzard and like you can stand there and collect your XP. Here's my issue with it. They need to, like, I don't even mind them charging for it because you're doing a service, right? But they need to make sure the service is done with in-game gold, and these RMTs are crazy. They need to like crack down on that. Be like, listen, you need to do this with in-game currency, and if you don't, we're gonna have a problem. How would you feel if mobs scaled with your... Oh my god, no. Now we're talking about Cataclysm again. No. No, because I'm like level 60. I'm not going to be able to go to punch a level 12, like, with my fists, and you just... Ugh. How do you feel about various currencies? There's too many. Copper, silver, gold, brother. That's it. That should be the currencies in the game. Copper, silver, gold. I shouldn't need anything else. I shouldn't have to figure out marks of whatever. Okay, well, maybe those Battleground marks, but I shouldn't have to figure out marks of the Zandalari or Bijous or, like, there's so many now in Modern WoW that there's different tabs for that. It's getting ridiculous. What type of consumables would you want to see in Classic Plus? No. No, I don't want to give the sweats anymore, like... I don't want to give the sweats any more of an advantage just because they sit on this game constantly. This just entices more gold farming and stuff. I like this one. Like, everybody should be able... Everybody should bring their consumables to raid, whether like they like it or not. But it shouldn't also break your freaking back to get them, like... Buddy, did you bring a fire protection pot? Well, I don't... Well, why not? Because it cost me, like, 10 silver. Like, this weeds out the complete idiots. Should Classic Plus increase the distance and nameplates? Yeah, why? Why are we asking again? We're not in 2004. Why are we asking questions like this? If the new engine can do it, it should be in the game. Should weapon skill remain a mechanic in Classic Plus? Yes, we talked about this. I don't know why they're asking the same questions over and over. Yes, it should be separated by one hand and two hand only, and then if you cap one, it should cap, like, the rest should cap, like, super quick, because, like, oh, I know how a heavy weapon's gonna feel like. Alright, last survey. Oh god, PvP for absolute nerds. I should skip this one because it ain't for me, but... should there be war mode in Classic Plus? Yeah, no war mode. That should... It's always been PvE realms or PvP realms. I personally play on a PvE realm because I don't want a flag for this. But if you check PvP realm, you should... If you're running around and a guy kills you, I mean, you opted into this already at the creation screen. How would you rank the original PvP honor ranking system? Uh, like mid. It was horrible at first, and then they added in the no decay, and that was really good for a little bit. But then what happened now is people don't participate. They just like they get Grand Marshal by standing there. So they need to rework that somehow. You need to at least participate to get Grand Marshal. How would you change the original honor system? Original rank 14 system. Same system, just remove the decay as it is today. Remove the weekly rank system. Honor goes up, rank goes up, ranks. Probably this when you reach it. I would this just remove the decay, but then I can fix this right now. If you're caught standing in a battleground doing nothing, if you get kicked out for AFKing for any reason, and I'm talking legitimate, like, because I know mass reporters like this will entice like a PvP mafia, and this should be on Blizzard's end, like server side. This shouldn't be like player. This should be a player-driven thing. This should be like them. They should implement a system that figures out if you're actually participating or not. But if you're kicked out by Blizzard's automated like thing that determines whether or not you're actually playing, then your PvP should decay. It should have no decay. Again, this is like way too technically hard to implement, but your PvP rank should decay if you're like just gonna stand there like and do nothing. But if you're sitting there actually you're a fucking blaster and you want to win, you know, like you helped kill generals, take towers, you should actually, I think ranking up should be even faster for you. Like getting the Grand Marshal a High Warlord should be easier if you're actually freaking playing. I just don't like the non-participation. I don't know how they can fix it, but yeah. How would you feel if rank was uncapped? Where pitting right, you continue prestige but gain no additional power. Yeah, that's awesome. I think the highest person on a server should be Chieftain of the Horde or Defender of the Alliance, which was like the original idea. There was like a rank 15 like for the highest person. That should come back. Like you're like the freaking High Warlord of the High Warlords, right? Like somebody sees you walking around with that title, they're like, holy shit, bro. In a season you were like the guy, okay? We don't fuck with that guy. Would you want Arena Classic Plus? I want to say no, because I don't really care, but other people, yes. Here's how I feel like this should work. Make another separate set for Arena players that makes you really good in 1v1s, but not so good in PvP, not so good in PvE. Like, I feel like this not putting this in, it just alienates a group of people who like Arena. But then they should also have their own set of gear that like makes 1v1 or like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. It should make your stats go way up when you're in those arenas. If yes, which would you want to see? All of them. All of them and more. Dude, imagine if they had like 10v10, 1v1. Oh my god, it was the best of the best Arena player, dude. Like, 1v1, like actual dueling. How would you feel? Well, here we go, 1v1. Let me bet gold on the outcome? No, I don't. I'm not a betting man, but yeah, I'd be more than interested in seeing that. Dude, imagine spectating the two best players. Like, guys that absolutely, like, I'm sure they don't actually hate each other, but in the game, they're like, fuck you, like, no, I'm the best, no, I'm the best. Okay, let's sign up for the war game. Let's do it. We're 1v1ing. Like, this is for all the freaking, this is for, like, I'm the best. Like, oh, you think you're good at 1v1? You come prove it to me, dude, in this freaking 1v1 mode. Should be able to Makara another player. If the loser dies. Absolutely. You sign up for that, Makara, buddy, victory or death. Now, is it toxic? Yeah, sure, because I'm sure there's somebody who's going to cheese this and, like, mind control cap his buddy off the freaking, like, ledge or something, but, I almost feel like if you're gonna Makara somebody, who should, like, port you to, like, a real, like, a flat, like an unused part of the game where everything's flat and, like, there's no possible way that somebody is gonna, like, cheese that fight. And then put a ring around, like when the Makara starts, put a ring around the area they can't leave. They stand out of that area for, like, 10 seconds, they die. And it was, well, what if a warlock fears you? Like, if the game detects that you're, like, crowd controlled and you're outside the circle, you don't instantly lose. You, like, you forfeit and then gain, like, a really bad debuff for, like, a week or something. Again, that's, your friend could still control you, but, like, log off for the week, I guess. Like, I don't know, I feel like Makaras would be really funny. I also would like a 1v1 arena Makara where, like, okay, those two guys really actually hate each other even in real life, and they're like, no, fuck you. I'm the best of the best, and I'm gonna kill your character, so, like, you gotta rework to get all this, all that stuff, all that trash you were talking, do it again, buddy. Which of the following would you want to see on PvP gear, if any? I don't have an opinion. I don't know how they balance the PvP sets, if at all. Like, I know in Modern WoW they have, like, a standardized item level, but, like, that's still not fun. I don't know. I leave this up to people way smarter than me and, like, way more invested in PvP than me. Should dishonorable kills exist? No. Here's how I feel. A dishonorable kill should only, and it should be, like, -10 honor kills. It should only be if you sit there and, like, kill a level 12, like, over and over and over. Like the second time, okay, you should be able to walk by a level 12 and smash them just because that's funny. But then if you sit there and, like, camp the poor guy while he's questing, the second time should be a dishonorable kill. And it should be -10. The way it exists now, no. I think dishonorable kills should exist, but, like, for anti-griefing purposes. So I'm gonna put no, but I just explained my reasoning. How important to you is it Blizzard and new Battlegrounds class? Dude, 10. They have the unused Ashara Crater that's been, like, in the game files for, like, as long as Orson Gulch. They have Isle of Conquest could easily be put in Classic. You just remove the vehicles and add bombs. You could put in, like, Strand of the Ancients. You could even throw Winter Grasp in Classic, like, just have it queue for it, and then have, like, Northrend, like, if anybody who tries to leave that area, just get ported. I don't know, I feel like they could take all the Battlegrounds that they've made and just port them into Classic. Should more World PvP objectives be added? World PvP. Yeah, but fix the ones that are already there. Like, Silithid, I don't know anybody who does that except for, like, I watched one guy do it to level TBC yesterday. And the towers in Eastern Plaguelands, like, could be so cool, but they don't Like the following World PvP. Oh, dude, South Shore versus Terran Mill. It was like a player. There was no objective there. It was just like these two cities wanted close to each other, and then this war, like, was just a player started thing. and it was awesome. Uh, Battle for Ashenvale event. 4 stars, very fun. I hated the mounts, like how they gave them the mounts. I hated how most of the time it was bugged, like one of your generals just wouldn't spawn. It was such a cool event, and it was ruined by bugs, like Blood Moon event. It gets to, like, it's not a 1 star, because, like, it got some engagement, but, like, it's more on the failing side than Black Ops Eruption. Another one that's like 2 stars and it only gets a star for, like, people did it, but it wasn't good. Watchtower Control. Another 2. Silithus Sands. 2. War of the Lost Tag Wars. Literally a 1 star. Why is my PvP thing being ruined by PvP? Yeah, why is my PvE thing getting ruined by PvP players? Killing faction leaders, oh my god, that's awesome. Like, dude, there's no reason to do it, but you'd get HK leader, which I don't even know if it did anything. But you did HK leader and then, like, just roll up and be like, okay, it's the end of you, Taronda, today. Because you're standing there and you looked at me funny, so how should the following combat mechanics function in PvP? Crowd control. Rework. Fear pathing. Rework. I would have it slow you by a lot, so you, like, when you get feared, you don't run, like, way off to the middle of fucking nowhere. Crowd control, again, I would, like, rogues being able to stun you the entire time is dumb. Heartbeat resist. Me personally, I'd remove it. I watched the whole dueling tournament where, like, the whole thing came down to, like, mage versus warlock, and then, like, polymorph, fear, and then it came down to, like, who just got lucky and got the heart. That's horrible design. Diminishing returns, another rework. I'd make them stricter, like I said, for rogue stun and stuff. Like, I can't just sit here and, like, not be able to play my character. Should resurrected times would change when you die repeatedly. Yeah, shorten them to, like, basically nothing. Should rated BGs be added? Yes. Again, 2 groups of 10 guys want to be competitive and go play the classic, like, classic world championship. Go do that, buddy. I'll watch you on Twitch. Should solo shuffle be added to classic? Yeah. Yeah, solo shuffle is awesome. Like, PvP you can do by yourself. Should war games be added? Yeah. Again, this is for, like, the big boys who, like, don't like any of the in-game systems. They can just go make their own and, like, they don't get anything for it, but they can prove they're the best. Should players be able to allow time XP gain for PV? No. Twinking again. My level 17 gnome with the fire weapon needs the fire smash, because it actually gives 1 armor even though it doesn't. No, get out of here, you nerd. Should kills in PvP give XP? Yeah, in Battlegrounds. Dude, you want to see the biggest nerds ever? The guy who leveled to 60 doing only BGs? Like, that dude's good at PvP and, like, he didn't get punished because he doesn't want to go do a quest. Like, I would say the open world too, but he, like I said, then he's out there running my quests for me and you. I'd rather he just queue up for the BG and, like, he's their problem now. Should PvP trinket cooldown be versus? Yeah, it should be a 2-minute cooldown. Should Battlegrounds, along with potentially Arena or new PvP content release month after launch? Alright, at the jump. Yeah, PvP needs more stuff for those people to do. Again, I'm not a PvPer, but I just took this because, yeah, like, you don't alienate a whole, like, section of people like this. Alright, I did them all. It was a 3-hour friggin' video. But yeah, I talked about each thing and why I want it that way. Alright. Peace.